Hello fellow hunters of the blue, and welcome to my channel, and also welcome to another video. In this video will show you how to solve once and for all the speed paint reactivation issue. So let's get cracking. Hello again, this is a very short video showcasing a solution that we found in the live stream that you can see here about speed paint. This was suggested by Ben Sonic, so thank you very much, Ben, for suggesting this. And this is a magic use that basically solves any speed paint reactivation issue once and for all. This has been tested with the worst offenders and works very, very well. The only issue is you're probably not going to like it. Let's find out. Hello again, and here we are with our testing rig. This is just a piece of plastic card that has been primed with white scar and some lines marked, so it's very clear what a square is which one. This column is going to be our control. This will be just pure Army Painter speed paint. The first line will be dry to the touch, second line 30 minutes after it's dry to the touch, 1 hour after it's dry to the touch, and 24 hours after it's dry to the touch. We may not even get to this column if these others behave as I expected, but it's good to have. And this will be a 2 parts speed paint and 1 part our secret ingredient, 1 and 1. So 50-50, and 1 part speed paint and 2 parts our magic juice that will make our paint stable, hopefully. And you may be asking, what is that magic juice that makes speed paint suddenly not reactivate anymore? Well, it's contrast medium. I told you you weren't going to like it. So, why don't we test this out? I'm going to use the worst offenders, because these are the worst paints in terms of reactivation, Highlight Blue and Blood Red. I'm going to use a dry palette here, not a wet palette, so we are not introducing any more variables into this. So this is now dry to the touch. As you can see, we can touch it with no issues. Well, my hands are red because, well, this paint was a bit of a mess. And now we're going to see if it reactivates. Let's start with the control, which it should. And you can see we can see some blue there and some red. And now let's see if the 2-to-1 of a speed paint plus contrast medium has any reactivation issues. Well, as you can see, no. Nothing. I was expecting it to maybe reactivate a little bit. Oh, you can see, yeah, we can see the red, just a tiny touch reactivating there. Let's see the 1-to-1. So again, the blue, solid. So 30 minutes have passed and we are going to test now. 30 minutes is kind of a very common drying time. And as you can see, we still have some reactivation issues, although considerably less, but still there. The red is still ridiculously fugitive. Also remember, this was quite thick application, look at that. It just lifts off. Let's move into the 2-to-1, and absolutely nothing on the blue, as expected, and a teeny tiny bit on the red. This red is just incredible. Although quite a bit less than here. I could tell a difference. So this is going somewhere. And the red is basically okay. A little bit of reactivation, just a tiny bit. No, you can see that. The tiniest bit. So it's now time to wait for 30 minutes more to see if this red gets better. It should get better the more time it has to cure. So, see you in a bit. Okay, it's not exactly an hour past, but close enough and I have stuff to do. So why don't we test this out again? Let's start, as we always do, with the control. The blue, it still reactivates as usual. Just remember, this is quite a thick layer. But I have found out that this primer is creepier, so it has less activation than something like Gray Sear. So that's something to acknowledge, that primer does have an effect, but it still reactivates. The red, of course it does. The red always does. Let's move into the 2:1 blue, solid as ever. Same would be for the 1:1. I'm just going to get out of the blue at this point because it makes no sense. And the red still reactivates. The two parts paint, 1 part medium. The 1:1 reactivates faintly, so that's an improvement, a little bit. And the 1:2 very faintly. So yeah, drying time does have a quite clear effect on how much it reactivates. Again, this red is just the worst offender of the whole range, by far. The blue was second and it's solid, so it's basically this that is giving us issues. Let's see if 24 hours solves that. So, I will see you in 24 hours. Hello again, 24 hours have passed and we're going to test this again. So yeah, we can see a little bit of reactivation here on the blue. Very subtle. But again, is this would, oh there you go. Surprisingly, the red seems to be more solid, so that's a surprise. Yeah, that's quite a surprise. A little bit, you can see there, but not that much. It would probably tint, if you paint white over it, will probably tint it a little bit pink. And of course, this will be completely solid now. So yeah, the red completely changed behavior in this 24 hours. Quite amazing. A little bit less than 24 hours, so that's good. So the worst color, which was the red, completely solidified, but the blue is still reactivating. But in a 2:1, the blue was solid after it was dry, completely dry, fully dry. And in 30 minutes, absolutely nothing coming off. The red was still reactivating, which was a pain in the ass. Quite an interesting finding there. If you mix about 2 parts speed paint to 1 part contrast medium, your paint will be solid. The red was the worst. This is so fugitive when it's not cured. Absolutely ridiculously fugitive. If you use this, you will have to wait for a bit to paint over it. Better if you mix it with medium, which has absolutely no reactivation whatsoever. The blue, which was a very bad offender previously, mixed with 2 parts paint to 1 part medium, makes it perfectly usable, 100%. And this was probably the worst of the paints except for the blood red. So if this is enough with 2:1, feel free to mix it with a 2:1 of paint to contrast medium, any of the speed paint colors except the blood red, and you will be solid as soon as it's fully dry. This blood red, you will, if you use it, you will have to wait. This was an hour, so it was still reactivating. You will probably have to wait several hours. I don't know at which point this cured enough that it's not reactivating, but you will have to wait for a bit for that to happen. I really hope this was useful for you. Please don't ask any more questions about speed paint. I consider them done. This is it. This is my solution. It works. It works very well. It's not pretty, but it works. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. So that was it. I really wish I could give you a better solution than that, but it just works. Even with that awful red, blood red, it's just terrible. But if you have a little bit of patience, you can just sort it out just using one more product. I know, but what are you going to do? Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to all the lovely patrons and channel members whose names you can see scrolling on the screen down here. Without them, this channel wouldn't be possible. So if you like what I do, subscribe to my Patreon or become a channel member. I really appreciate it. And if you can't do that, just follow me on social media. Anything helps. You will have all the links to my affiliates and my social media in the description below and in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.